Started off by asking Xu Chen whether the latest move signaled just how worried policymakers are by China's economic slowdown.
I think the present China's economic situation is okay. It's acceptable to everybody, and it's just a good time for the Chinese government and the central bank to adjust the China's economic structure and upgrade the productivity level. And of course, we have to concern about the employment issue. So to keep a level of growth rate is very important. But in the meantime, we have to consider the upgrade needs for the Chinese government and the Chinese economist.
China's stock market has been on fire this past year. In fact, both the Shenzhen Composite and the Shanghai Composite have been surging. How do you explain such a red-hot stock market given the slowdown in the Chinese economy?
I think the present stock market situation is very difficult for me to understand at such a kind of a level, because it's still like of the real economist support. Of course, it's represent the support by the market to the central government's policy at the present.
There's a lot of discussion over the $50 billion Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. Recently, the World Bank and the IMF, members of both the organizations, came out in support of this infrastructure bank. We have also a number of European countries that have signed up. Yet the United States is opposed to this. How do you think that's going to affect the dynamics between U.S.-China relations?
I think it's a very important issue, and the question is also very interesting. And I think the IIB's establishment is very good to not only to the underdeveloped countries, very good to Chinese economic situation, and also very important to the U.S. economy, because along the One Belt, One Road, there are about 65 country GDP figures and 40% of the global population. If the country's economic situation can be improved or be a big market for the U.S. manufacturing companies.
Many economists and observers say that the creation of AIIB is a move on behalf of China to help establish the yuan as a reserve currency and to further internationalize the yuan. Do you think it's a step in the right direction?
Of course, the AIIB's role will be beneficial a lot to the globalization of the yuan. But you know, the US dollar still is playing the most important role in the global economy. So I think the first benefited currency is US dollars. Maybe the second is RMB.
I think everyone agrees that the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates this year. Everyone talks about how this is going to affect the U.S. economy, but there's little spoken about how this may play out for the Chinese economy. How do you expect a rate hike to impact the Chinese economy? Could we possibly see capital outflows?
I think maybe it's beneficial to the China's going abroad strategy, because if the U.S. Fed can increase the U.S. dollar's interest rates, will be more attractive to the Chinese investors to make their investments in United States market or other important global market, I think.